Search efforts continue today for the missing UF student Christian Aguilar.
We received a phone call in the newsroom explaining that Christian Aguilar, young student at the University of Florida, had gone missing. I heard that the girlfriend of Christian Aguilar, Erica Freeman, goes out to the University of Florida Police Department with Pedro Bravo, a friend. They all know each other because they all went to the same school in Miami. So they're in the very same group of friends.
Let's see if we can locate Christian or figure out where he may have been. Please.
Pedro and Christian get together because Pedro's going through a lot and says that Christian is someone that he can count on, talk about his feelings, and Pedro starts bickering with Christian.
So what was it that made you start arguing?
Arguing?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think he said, I said, you don't understand what I'm going through. Chris got frustrated and angry at me, and he's like, stop the car, I want to get off. In my mind, I'm like, fine, you don't want to help me? Don't help me. So I stopped the car and I let him get off and I drove away. And then that's the last I heard of him.
Naturally, Erica is going through interrogations as well with law enforcement, and police start realizing how interconnected Pedro, Erica, and Christian are, and that she dated Pedro in high school.
Erica broke up with Pedro and told him that she didn't want to have a long-distance relationship. She decided to come to Gainesville. She said that she enrolled at Santa Fe Community College. At some point, Erica said that she just happened to run into Pedro. Didn't tell her, didn't say anything to Christian, just showed up.
So Pedro shows up here sometime in August?
From what I hear, he showed up like the day before classes started.
Pedro came to Gainesville, opened up a lease at Spyglass Apartments, and enrolled at Santa Fe College. He decides to forego his scholarship in Miami for the sake of following Erica, being close to Erica. Pedro must feel so strongly about Erica, and I don't know if to call it love, but more of a fixation, an obsession.
While I was walking by, he's driving in the opposite direction, and like as soon as they see me, he like jumps out of the car and like is running after me, and I turn around, he's like right there, and like I was kind of like in shock.
Pedro, Erica, and Christian are in a love triangle. Pedro very much still in love with Erica, and of course Christian, you know, having that current relationship with Erica as well, and Erica being just in the middle of it all.
We're trying to understand the circumstances behind why we think Christian's missing. So we get permission from Pedro to search his cell phone. By using the information that's on Pedro's phone and the information that we got from his cell phone carrier, I was able to actually start retracing his steps. And it's starting to really contradict what he's telling us. It's very clear based on the location data that we got from the cell carrier and from Pedro's cell phone that he was at this Walmart. It was almost good enough to put him in the parking lot. I used the data to trace Pedro actually eventually going back to his house, right? Just not the route that he said, just not the story that he gave us. And interestingly, he goes home, he's there for a little bit, and then he leaves his house again. And he makes his way out to another major road in Gainesville, Archer Road, and then his cell tower data stops, it cuts off. So all of his location tracking from the carrier stops. Up until the next morning when he returned to his apartment. The story that he's given Randy is that his phone dies in the phone extraction. And I'm looking at this file by file, and I stumble upon this battery log. The battery log is showing not only was his phone not dead, I can see that he's charging it. I also find an app usage log. What was really interesting for us is that on the evening that Christian was last seen and then disappears, Pedro's phone shows about a 48-minute usage of his flashlight app.
The flashlight app is an app that allows the phone to project light from essentially its flash that's associated with the camera.
I was able to take the app usage and couple it with the battery log. By correlating the battery drain on the phone, which during that 24-hour period, there was never another time where the battery drained that significantly, other than roughly between 11 p.m. and midnight, right? So that's when we see the battery being drained significantly, and that battery drain time matches up with the app usage time.
Why would somebody need their flashlight app on for 45 minutes? It's unusual. A couple of weeks later, I got a telephone call saying that a body was discovered in Levy County and at a hunting camp. The person was wearing the same clothing of Christian.
He was found out all the way in this rural area of Levy County. If you want to go and hide a secret, that wooded area and that place is probably the perfect spot.
It's a very large area of property out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there's nothing, no light, nothing out there. It's in pitch dark. So we believe that the reason that flashlight app was on for 45 minutes was he was using that to get rid of Christian's body.
In the search of Pedro Bravo's car, police find an almost empty Gatorade bottle that contained Gatorade, acetaminophen, and diphenhydramine, or Benadryl. In the backseat floor of Pedro Bravo's car, there are floor mats. And on the floor mats, it's clear that he has freshly applied large quantities of paint.
When we took video and pictures of that under a black light, and it fluoresced that there was blood on the carpet in the rear of the vehicle. We were able to pull Walmart video from the parking lot from where we had the time frame where the two phones were bouncing off the same tower in the parking lot. And we were able to see Pedro Bravo's vehicle pull into the parking lot, sit for a period of time, and then he pulled up to the next row of parking places. You can't see in the car, it's just too long of a distance from the surveillance video, but you can make out the vehicle. They both sit there for a long period of time, probably 60 to 90 minutes.
Pedro Bravo admitted to another inmate who we called during the trial is that after Christian Aguilar kind of fell asleep or became very drowsy from that cocktail of poison that he had given him, that he, Pedro Bravo, got into the backseat of the car, took a tow strap, essentially a strap that one would strap something down in a pickup truck, put it over the seat, put it around Christian's neck, braced Pedro Bravo's knees against the back of Christian Aguilar's seat, and leaned back as hard as he could, cutting off his circulation in his airway, in his throat, and murdered him in that parking lot.
You took his past, everything he had been, you took his present, everything he was, and you took his future, everything that he would have been.
Pedro Bravo was found guilty of every crime which he was charged, including first-degree murder, kidnapping. He was sentenced to multiple life sentences consecutive to each other.
When I find out how he killed my son, that was the worst day in court. That day, nobody won. I didn't take Christian home that day. And Pedro's family didn't take Pedro Bravo home either, okay? Two families were destroyed. Because I cannot say that Pedro's family, they are monsters or that they are bad people. What their son did is wrong. I hope he never did it. Unfortunately, he did, but he destroyed two families with that actions.